All right, so why are you upset? Why would you cut your mom from the moving team?
That wasn't entirely factual. I would not cut my mom from the moving team. If anyone, I would probably cut my dad because he was trying to lift heavy stuff and he's old. And I was trying to tell him not to do that, but he kept doing it. So probably him for his own safety.
But you didn't say him first. You said, I don't want to say my mom. That means
because I didn't want to say my mom. That's not true.
So the whole team's great. You got you got auntie, you got cuz, you got pop, and mom, but no pop.
Well, I don't know. I just needed one less person. Because once they got, like, in my new apartment and were, like, moving around and all simultaneously asking me where different stuff went, I got a little overwhelmed. So I didn't mind them being there. It's just that all of them there also trying to place my stuff in places where I knew where it was supposed to go, but they didn't. So I just would have rather...
Did you label it?
I mean, I didn't label it, but there's not a whole lot to label, you know? Because I had... all my kitchen stuff was, like, in one place. All of my bedroom stuff was, like, in one place. And, I mean, I don't know. And also, I had moved a lot of my stuff in the days prior to, like, my actual day that I moved. So, like, I spent basically all Friday and Saturday moving stuff on my stony lonesome.
Why not just tell them to all put it in a big pile? What?
No.
Well, then
because I want it in a general area.
It sounds like your fault.
Okay. What? Why you gotta put me on the spot like that? Well, that is so shady.
Because you're like, man, they were stressing me out. They were asking me where things go.
Well, Joseph,
and I had to answer.
I just said I was moving stuff like for basically 3 days straight, and by Sunday I was tired. So I just wanted stuff in my apartment, and then at some point I would determine where it went, just not immediately. I just needed my bed to be where it needed to be so I can get in it and rest my bones. So I can then, at a later date, move my stuff. So, I've been in my apartment for like a couple of weeks.
So you were fine with the pile?
Well, no, I'm not fine with the pile. I want it to be in a general area. That's what I'm saying.
A general pile?
No, not one singular pile. Things where they need it to be. Like, okay, I had stuff like...
But you also didn't want people to ask, and you didn't want to tell them. So you should have labeled it.
Okay, it didn't need to be labeled. I had all of my... Okay, so like all my bathroom stuff, that was in like one container. Like all I needed was for that container to go in the bathroom, not for them to start like taking stuff out of the container.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And also a few of my boxes were labeled.
You need to label every individual item. You say bathroom, 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 kitchen, 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 bathroom, bedroom.
Put a label on every fork?
Yeah.
No.
They might not know, you know? You said your dad's getting old. He can't lift stuff. Maybe he can't read, you know? He's like, what is this? Is this some sort of gamer tool? And it's a fork. That's why you got to label it. You're like, no, Dad, it's a fork. It goes in the kitchen.
Anyway. Also, I was a little upset that I was moving on Sunday because I did kind of want you to meet my dad. If we would have moved when I wanted to, which would have been the 9th, which is like that Saturday. So, alas. You've only met my mom.
Barely remember the interaction.
Well, this is also you. So, yeah.
I don't appreciate that. I think your memory is equally bad at times.
Not in the same ways.
Not in the same... Okay. So it wasn't that you were upset with the pile. You were upset that people were putting the boxes where they needed to go. But
then they started unpacking.
Yeah, and then they were asking you like, where does this fork go? You know,
basically.
That's what you're upset about. See, you gotta paint the bigger picture. Otherwise, I'm gonna just start attacking you for being dumb.
Okay.
See, anyway. I thought they just weren't putting the general boxes in the general area that you wanted them to go because they weren't labeled and you didn't want to tell them. But the issue was they were asking for every item, every fork, every spoon, every roll of toilet paper. They needed to know where does Arin want this? In the kitchen? In the laundry room? On the ceiling? The roof? Yeah.
Wow. Well, this is the 23rd episode of the Not Just Arin podcast. I am Arin and you are? No.
Dying.
Anyway. You just continue to disappoint me. I don't know what to say.
I think you can say my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
Well, nothing could ruin my day because in 2 days I'll be in Birmingham just absolutely ripping and tearing. What?
You're gonna be listening to BFG Division?
BFG Division?
You're gonna be listening to good old Mick Gordon? You know?
Oh, yeah. No. Well,
so you said you're going to be ripping and tearing.
I will be ripping and tearing.
Until
but
it is done?
Not to, would you just say Mick Gordon?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You're not going to be ripping and tearing until it is done, doing God's work.
Wait, does the songs have lyrics? They don't have lyrics.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, the second one, they do.
What, in Doom 2?
Yeah. In Doom Eternal.
Okay, that's not Doom 2.
What?
That's not Doom 2?
It's the reboot, too.
Okay, well, it's like calling Hitman 2 Hitman 2. Did my phone just light up?
And they did call it Hitman. They did call Hitman 2 Hitman 2.
Which doesn't make sense because it's like the 10th one in the series.
Yeah, well, it's a reboot, Arin.
Well, Joseph. Anyway, I'll be at yet another concert. I'm on my concert ting. And this one's gonna be fun because it's gonna be, first of all, first date on the, what do you call it? Not lineup. First date of the tour. Hometown show of the headliner. Fantastic. However, I am looking forward to it, but there's this thing going on in Birmingham right now called the World Games, where it's basically like the mini Olympics, and the city, it's a little full. So the parking situation might be a little bonkers, but I'm practicing my breathing exercises. I'm not going to freak out about it. I'll be fine. I've got everything planned, and everything will be okay. So yeah, I can tell you're not paying attention, so I'm gonna stop.
I mean,
the
I'm
concert
always
talk
paying
right
attention.
there.
Maybe I'm just bored.
Okay. Anyway,
If I'm not paying attention, I'll let you know in like 20 seconds. I'll be like, wait a minute, what'd you say?
Well, you could be there, but you chose not to be. So you could also be at my birthday concert, but again, you chose not to be. Won't hold it against you, maybe. So, yeah. Anyway.
Wait a minute, what were you saying?
No.
Wait a minute, were you holding something against me just then?
Come on.
That's what I heard. I think that's
Okay.
what you said.
This bit, first of all, wasn't funny to begin with, and now it's no longer funny.
Sorry, I zoned out. What?
I'm not saying nothing.
I will double down. She said this is a silent podcast.
No, we're not.
Is this my solo episode? Do I get a solo episode?
I mean, you could if you wanted to.
I don't want to.
Okay.
Why? I just boot you out of nowhere?
No. I mean, hey, if you want to, start your own YouTube channel, do your own solo podcast, I can't stop you.
Well, maybe that's in the works. But I've signed an NDA, so I can't say anything about
With who? Your producer?
it. Can't say.
Okay. Well, I'm happy for you, maybe. Anyway. I had a snake in my apartment the other day. Is that Pepto-Bismol?
It is in the chewable tablet form.
You can, ew, that's nasty.
What, you prefer to do a shot?
Well, no, but they have they have the little pills, and I use those.
Where's the fun in that?
Because then you have to taste it.
It doesn't taste that bad.
Well, I don't like the taste of any pharmaceuticals, so I prefer not to when I can.
You know, like pot brownies.
Never had one, so I can't say.
It tastes bad.
You've had one?
No.
I was about to say, I'm gonna tell your mom.
Fooled you for a second. Tell my mom. She won't care. Well, maybe she will.
Yeah.
Depends if it was legal or not.
Interesting. So she's not one of the parents where it's like no drugs whatsoever.
I don't know. I guess it doesn't really come up. I think I'm the kind of person that's probably like no drugs whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So
a teetotaler.
A what?
A teetotaler.
I've never heard this phrase.
Oh, it means you abstain from like drugs and alcohol, but
do you abstain from alcohol?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about this before. Maybe not on the podcast, but I'd really not like to find out that I like it a lot. So
interesting.
Yeah. I'm just not even going to open that door.
I don't think we have talked about it before.
No, we have. And wait a minute. I talked about it with my mom, not you. No.
Wow. You mixed me and your mom up?
Well, we talk about the same things. So sometimes. Yeah.
So there was a snake in your boot?
There was a snake in my boot. And by my boot, I mean I'm the old lady who lived in the shoe. And the shoe is my apartment. There's a snake in my apartment. So this was after... I got finished recording the podcast last week. I went home to try to figure out how to get like my internet router working because I was trying to do it all afternoon. I couldn't get it done. Got here late because of it. I eventually figured it out, by the way. But yeah, I'm sitting on the floor, right? Looking at this router, trying to figure out what's going on because I got it hooked up to like one of the cables. And I look behind me and I see something on my rug, and my rug is like yellow, right? So it's very easy to see things on it. And at first I think it's just like a cable that I had like tossed over there, but didn't remember doing. But then I see it moving. And then the first thing that I think is, man, that's a really big worm for some reason. Like split second, man, that's a really big worm. Then I realize, first of all, worms don't get that big. So I'm like, oh my God, I think that's a snake. I stand up. Sure enough, it's a snake. Pretty large, you know, okay, it was alarming, but I don't think it was the size where it would have done me any major harm. And it did not look like a venomous snake of any kind. First, let's see. I think I probably tried to call you first, but then it like went to voicemail for some reason. So I'm like, okay, I'm not even sure how Joseph can help me in this situation. However, I was kind of freaking out at the time because there's a snake in my apartment. So I don't know if you remember when we were at the fair, when we were filming a film that never got made, Rip in Peace, at Bellhaven.
You screamed on the boat?
Yes, and I almost swore. And this was the second time that I almost swore. Like I felt it on my lips, but I didn't. But I was like super freaked out. So I decided to call my dad instead of my mom because number one, it was like 9 o'clock. She was asleep. And if I called my mom, she would just start freaking out too. And the both of us did not need to be freaking out at the same time because then nothing would have got done. So my dad tells me to call 911. At first I'm like, okay, this isn't like a super duper emergency. Like my life isn't really in danger. But like also who else am I going to call? I looked up the number for animal control and they were closed. Hello, it was nighttime. So I ended up calling them and they said they like transferred me over to animal control, which again was closed. And, you know, I told them, hey, besties, there's a snake in my apartment. Please come and get it. And they're like, okay, it's, we're closed right now, but we're going to find someone and we're going to send them out and they're going to get to you and get the snake out. Right. So I first spotted the snake around 9:30 to 9:40.
Wait.
Yes.
I need you to describe the snake. You said it's kind of big, but not that big. I need you to be more specific. Is it like the length of your arm?
I don't know. It was about a foot long, maybe more than that. But also I couldn't get like an accurate read on it because I didn't want to get very close to it. Mm-hmm. And also, snakes, they're all like slithery and they kind of,
Now describe the girth.
I mean, I thought it was a cable. So it looked like maybe, I don't know. Do you have like a coax cable? It looked almost like that, but it was maybe thicker than that. So, yeah.
So like a centimeter in diameter? This was like a baby snake then. That's not a centimeter?
That's not a centimeter. What is this? That's probably like an inch.
That is not an inch. Wait, I'm using the inner of my finger.
I am too.
That's not an inch. I don't think you know what an inch is.
Anyway, it was not really that big. I mean, I have pictures of it. I can show you the snake in question. They're not the best because, again, I was freaking out and also I didn't want to get too close.
I don't think you know what an inch is.
Okay.
I don't know.
We keep belaboring this point, but this is Mr. Snake. I'm assuming he's male because he does not respect boundaries of being inside of my house.
Okay, it's a little. I don't know. There's nothing with scale here. It looks kind of big because it's so zoomed in, but it also looks like it's a hair.
Well, I mean, I guess, but this is like my door frame, right, to my bedroom.
And that's like the
So
molding on the ground. Is that roughly
yeah,
the same size of my molding, or is it bigger?
yes.
Okay, so this is a baby snake.
I mean, maybe it was a baby snake, but the thing is, it was in my apartment, right? I
Yeah.
was still freaking out.
I'm not. I'm just. We got to paint the picture, Aaron.
I
You know.
know.
I thought you were a writer.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm more better articulate on paper than I am spoken. So-
Clearly.
yeah, that's been my reality my whole life. So yeah, I'm a writer, not a speaker.
You should be
Anyway.
able to write verbally. Okay. All good writers are also good speakers.
I
That's
don't
a fact.
think that's true.
Yeah, maybe
I
not.
don't think. Yeah. Anyway,
You ever heard George R. R. Martin speak?
honestly, I can't tell you what his
Exactly.
voice sounds like.
Exactly.
Anyway,
See, I'm so good at talking. That's why I never write, you know?
you sure about that?
What?
You sure about that?
So good at talking?
Yes.
Moving on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am sure about it.
Anyway.
I'm better than you. Anyway, this snake, you called 911, animal
Yeah.
control.
Animal control, they said they were going to send someone out. So I spent the next like 2 hours following the snake around my apartment, making sure it didn't go out of my sight. And eventually, Mr. Snake just left, presumably the way he came in. So there's like a crack, not like a crack, it's a gap at like the bottom of my front door frame and like the wall. And he just left. Like, bye, I guess. But, you know, animal control never showed up. I waited like 2 hours for them and they never got there. And so eventually it got to be like 11 o'clock. I got to go to work the next day. I'm tired. And I'm like, okay. I just called them and told them, hey, whoever you got on their way, tell them to go back home because like the snake is gone and I'm tired. So what I ended up doing before I went to bed was I took some steel wool, which I had because there are other gaps in my apartment. And I just kind of stuffed it in the cracks and I just went to bed. So that's really all I could do. And eventually I did end up contacting my landlord and I tried to get them to like do something to the gaps, something more like permanent other than like steel wool. Don't mind that. It's just an elephant taking a pee in the background. He's fine. But they didn't really do anything because the steel wool is still there. So they didn't take it out and replace it with something like more permanent. Like, I don't know. They could have filled it in with something. But what they ended up doing is they ended up putting like a strip of like foam or something between my door and my door frame, which is not where the snake came in, by the way. There was nothing wrong there. So that's all they kind of ended up doing. And I guess that was that. I have not had any more snakes in my apartment. However, the like front area of my apartment, there's like a lot of like dead leaves and stuff that needs to be cleared out. And they are supposed to handle lawn maintenance. So you would think that would be maintained. It's not really, but yeah, that's my snake story. But yeah, that's why I said I have experience because when the branch caught on fire and it didn't take that long. It took maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes for the fire department to get here. But then they left because it wasn't on fire anymore. So yeah, that's that. I'm not like scared still, but it is a little wild that a snake was able to get in my house. Like, I've lived out in the country before and snakes have never been that close to me, you know? So yeah, that was a bit wild and wacky, especially considering I had moved into that place like quite recently. So, you know, and then there's the,
If you were watching it for 2 hours, how did it all of a sudden leave without you knowing?
it didn't leave without me knowing. I watched it leave.
You watched
In fact,
it
I
leave.
took a video of it and I wanted to send it to my landlord, but the little maintenance request portal, it only accepted pictures so that, you know, they could see where to
Is your landlord a person or a company?
It's a company.
Maintenance request, snake.
But yeah, you kind of see where it left out from. And again, I was watching it the whole time. And I was on the phone with my dad the whole time. Because again, freaking out. But Mr. Snake just left. He was like, bye.
It's quite small.
I mean, I don't know. When I was standing in the room with it, it did not feel small to me.
I would freak out too, no matter the size. I'm just saying, like, it is small.
And it's also like when the video starts, it's like halfway out of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly long. It's just like it's still tiny, you know. Like this is, yeah. I feel like an inch, half an inch in diameter. Like this is fitting under like the smallest crack in your door frame.
Yeah.
You know, like.
And to paint a picture of the snake for our male/blind viewers, it was, I want to say it was black, right? It had black scales and kind of like a white belly. Again, I didn't get very close to see, you know, the detail of it or whatever, but it didn't really have any discernible pattern. It definitely was not a rattlesnake. It definitely was not a cottonmouth because number one, it's too small. And you can tell if a snake is venomous by the shape of its head. And usually venomous snakes, they have like almost like shovel-shaped heads. But this one, like its head was flush with the rest of its body. And so I did look it up. And I sent a picture to my dad. And he said it might be like a black king snake. And I looked that up and it looked pretty similar to the snake that I saw.
King snake isn't venomous?
No. They're like, what do you call them? Like rat snakes. They just like, they eat. They don't like secrete.
They eat. They do not secrete.
Basically, yeah.
I don't know. That's not. Are we protesting? What are we protesting?
Protesting what?
I don't know. Something that eats but doesn't secrete. We're protesting snakes, I guess.
Sure.
Eat but don't secrete, or maybe we're protesting for like snake rights or something like
non-venomous snake rights. They can stay. The venomous ones.
That sounds kind of snakeist to me, Aaron.
Anyway,
Aaron, I'm surprised you would take this stance. I'm let the record show that Joseph Lopez supports rights for all types of snakes, venomous and non-venomous alike.
You want your last name out there like that? Well, I guess we did say it in a different episode, so never mind. Your last name is already out there like that. Hate to say it.
Put it out there twice.
Okay.
Let it be known. Spread the word.
All right.
I'm running.
Up that hill. Have you finished?
I did.
Okay. Thoughts? Brief.
Yes. Wait, you get to spend 20 minutes on a snake the size of a
20 minutes on a snake. Okay, I spent maybe 10 minutes on it.
How long have you been recording?
14 minutes.
And then how long were we recording before that?
I wasn't even talking about the snake. Wait, was I? I suppose I was, but I just started talking about it.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
11.
Speaking of 11, it was 20 minutes. What is it? My thoughts. Like the season as a whole.
Sure.
It's not my favorite. I don't hate it. Like I enjoyed it, but I feel like some stuff was like a little goofy or a little like that last episode was a little long. Mm-hmm. And I enjoyed it. I still love Stranger Things, but I feel like as of right now, if I were to like rank the seasons, I guess there's only 4 seasons, so it doesn't. My ranking won't matter that much because kind of 3 and 1 are tied. I'd have to like rewatch them to find out where they like actually fall. If one can dethrone the other, but 3 and 1 are tied, then 4 and then 2 at the bottom. 2 is the only season I like dislike. And so 4, I'm trying to think. It's also like a little disappointing because each season is kind of like a self-contained story and very enjoyable. Season 4 very much feels like a part 1 of 2. It ends on a cliffhanger and a lot of plot lines. There's so many different plot lines that are getting set up throughout the season and they don't really have payoffs. And so it feels like it's like, oh, we're setting something up for like season 5. And so that's like a little disappointing, especially when season 5 isn't going to come out for anywhere between like 2 to 3 years.
Or 5 or 7.
I don't think it would be. Why would it be that much?
I don't know.
They're like, yeah, the kids
Netflix is kind of
the
in its
kids are
flop era.
40 years old now. They're doing like It Chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a combination of It Chapter 2 and Boyhood.
Yeah, but I don't know. Netflix, they're in their flop era now. They might not have the money for it.
I mean, they always have the money. They will spend
somehow
all the money they don't have.
Yeah.
What else? But like I said, still enjoyed it. I enjoyed some of the twists, some of the turns. It's still fun. It's still goofy. I guess like spoilers. Where the frick did Hopper get that sword from? Like it was hype as heck, but I was like, yo, where the frick?
Picked it up off the floor. No, because they gave them the weapons to fight the thing. They gave them like melee weapons, like axes.
I want to go back to that. I get maybe it's like the Russians like busted it out like while they were away, like busted out the sword off screen. But I don't think I saw a single sword in that first like Demogorgon fight. Yeah, so
because they had like axes and
they had weak weapons. They didn't have a diamond sword. They had a stone hoe, and a wood shovel. But what is it? Like I said, hype as heck. But where the frick did that sword come from? And then I thought it was super I thought it was crazy how hard Jason got murdered.
Jason, he was a Letterman, right?
He was the jock. Yeah.
No, because I thought, okay, so they go through the whole storyline of like, oh, my Chrissy's dead, I gotta avenge her, you know? But in the end, he only gets like split in half and they don't even like kind of focus on that.
Only? You think he deserved worse?
Well, no, but it was like, you know, the thing was like opening up, but he was just kind of like there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was knocked out in just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
So, but wait, are you like, did you really hate his character? Do you feel like he deserved a more gruesome death?
I don't feel like he deserved a more gruesome death. I feel like they should have at least focused on it. Because when he got like, you know.
It's nearly a blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that maybe could have used more payoff. I think I was just shocked. I feel like it is brief, but I was shocked at how gruesome it was. Like I know he's like one of the antagonists and like he's not a great guy, but I don't know. He didn't have to go out. He didn't have to go out that way. Like
that just reminded me of something. Okay, so the scene I get it in context of the story. But the scene where they're at the like gun shop, literally everybody from the city of Hawkins is inside that shop. I've never been to a gun store, but I feel like I've never seen a singular store more populated than that gun store in that scene. Like, I get why they were doing it because, you know, they think some weird's going on, gotta protect yourself. But there were a lot of people at that gun store. And apparently it was like on the outskirts of town, so everybody just like converged on that one semi-legal gun store. That was odd. I felt that was odd. There's far too many extras there. They could have pulled back a little bit.
It's popping off. It was a busy day. But what is it?
Looked like a fireworks store on the 4th of July, you know?
You ever been to Buc-ee's?
No.
Looked like Buc-ee's at every day. They're not only in Texas. There's some in Alabama.
Interesting. I've never been to one in Alabama.
Well, Buc-ee's is kind of always popping off. It is always as crowded as that gun store in Stranger Things.
But how expensive is their gas?
I don't know. I think it's decent. I don't know. I mean, they're always popping off. Let me tell you.
I believe you.
What are your thoughts on the season?
Well, you know, I'm not as passionate about Stranger Things as you are, and I heard, you know, there's going to be some deaths, there's going to be some destruction. I was like, you know what? Good. I'm ready for these children to die. They can go. Let's Game of Thrones it up, right? But in reality, nobody really ended up dying except for the character they, like, introduced that season. And then, I mean, there's spoilers, Max, but she is only kind of dead. Like, we don't even know what's going on there. There's still, like, room for hope, I guess. So I don't know. I thought, you know, I was ready for what's his name's character to like go because
good old what's his name.
Finn Wolfhard's character? What's his name?
Mike.
I was gonna say Jack. There's nobody named Jack. Yes, Mike. I was ready for him to kick the bucket because I feel like he was more important in the earlier seasons, but now he's definitely taking like a backseat. And also, one thing I've realized is that, you know, Millie Bobby Brown, great. The actress that plays Max, also great. What's his name? The kid, bowl cut, unfortunate hair. Oh my god.
Are you talking about the kid or the actor?
The actor.
Noah Schnapp.
Noah Schnapp, also really great. Everybody else, kind of mid as actors. Like, these kids can only kind of act, you know, but it's fine. It's not that big of a deal.
Everyone else?
Not everyone else, just of the main children. Okay, that's not true.
Yeah, you're calling out Dustin. You're calling out Lucas.
Lucas.
You don't like Lucas?
His acting, it leaves something to be desired.
When he's holding Max's body in his arms.
I'm talking about every other time. Okay,
every other time.
That.
Every
it's
other.
Just, his line delivery sometimes is a little wooden.
I feel like I disagree. I don't think I've ever had a problem with the acting in the show.
Okay. I like the hair. I can't remember a single character's name.
Man, you really did binge this.
Yeah.
You didn't even binge it. You like watched it. You watched it on times two. She said this is too many hours. Eddie.
Yes, Doja Cat's fantasy boyfriend.
Has she said that?
Well, there was like a whole thing where for some reason her and like Noah Schnapp are like friends or whatever, and she told him to like hook her up with him, the actor, and Noah Schnapp like posted that on TikTok, and then they kind of had a row over it. But he's apparently 29. I didn't know he was that old. Not Noah Schnapp.
Eddie?
Yes, Noah Schnapp is like 17, but Eddie, the actor that plays him, is like high old, you know? Yeah. Anyway, him. I liked him. He was fun. You know, he had some heart, some dimension.
Now he's dead.
And now he's dead. Yeah. Honestly, okay, I did not like his death scene at all because when he like dies, you can like kind of tell. Like his eyes are like there's nothing there anymore, and he's just like it felt too real to me. I don't know. I wasn't vibing. It was a bit much. That was very emotional as well. I didn't cry because I don't cry, but if I did cry, I would have. If I were Melissa, I would be dehydrated.
Wow, you just call her out.
Well, you said it yourself.
I don't know. I don't know. It sounded like personal. You were like, if I were Melissa.
No.
Like, what is it? Yeah, he was like my favorite character this season. So I was sad to see him go. Though I would say that I didn't have, I think, anything spoiled for the season except for his death.
Really?
His death, because IGN was posting like a week after it came out, volume 2, which I was busy. But a week after it came out and I hadn't seen it yet, IGN was just straight up posting like videos where it was like the thumbnail and the title was like Eddie's dead. Like not literally, but basically.
Yeah.
And so that kind of took out some of the punch, but definitely sad to see him go. I feel like something else that takes out some of the punch of it is the writing, because he didn't need to die. Like I know it's like a character moment, like he's like brave or whatever, but it's like, no, you could have ran and you could have lived and it would have been fine. I think that was something I saw online of people criticizing it, of just like, what is it, of that his like sacrifice and his like bravery did not really affect the outcome of, I guess, winning / losing the final battle. So he could have lived. The writers just didn't like him.
Had to kill somebody.
Which, here, wait, like maybe future Aaron here, edit me saying this, but like, I guess, can we put some timestamps or something, or like a notice for David? Because like of our 3 listeners, David hasn't watched Stranger Things.
Like
so
at all?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like any of it?
I think so, yeah.
Huh.
So I don't know. Maybe some Stranger Things timestamps for David, unless he wants the spoilers. That's up to him.
I mean, if he hasn't watched it by now.
For David, please, because he is thinking about it.
Well, I think he's not going to start with season 4, is he?
That's what my sister did.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And then my mom stopped with season 4. She watched the first episode and she was like, "That's too much for me." But what
All right,
is
we'll
it?
give a little Squeegee Girl David some timestamp.
Squeegee Girl David. Oh man. Oh man. I wonder if he'll text me about that because like you weren't there. Oh man, we can't keep bringing this up. I mean, maybe we
Okay.
can, but like, you weren't. I don't think you were there. But last week after,
No, I wasn't there. I was not in Ohio with you.
No,
Oh.
last week after the podcast, we were watching his stream, and then I was waiting for like a girl to pop up in Elden Ring, and then I typed in the chat. I was like, "Yo, was that Squeegee Girl or whatever?" And then I'm pretty sure he ignored it. Like he didn't respond to my chat, which was upsetting. But then someone else in the chat was like, "Yo, are they talking about Squeegee Girl that was kind of like thin with brown hair?" And I'm like, "Yo, did he talk?" He tried to play it off like it wasn't like there wasn't some level of like physical attraction, or there wasn't some reason that you gave this unnamed girl a nickname of the nickname of Squeegee Girl. Tried to play it off, and then his like on stream, he tried to play it off again when I called him out or whatever. Not called him out, but tried to make a light joke of it. And then his friend is like, "Yo, you talked to someone else about Squeegee Girl?" And I'm like, "Yo." His friend just totally outed him. Maybe. I think I meant to text him about it, but didn't. But no, we can't keep bringing it up. I feel like it might make him upset. Well, we'll see.
Well,
I could use my power. I could be like, "David, text me right now and tell me if you're upset."
okay. Hear that, David? You have to do it.
Any other thoughts on the season or anything?
I think the only characters that I care about are Joyce and Hopper, and they're finally back together, so I can be happy. I'm not gonna lie. Oh man, no, I don't want to scandalize you.
Me?
Yes.
You have to say it now.
Okay. Well, I think David Harbour is hot. In like a, older man kind of
I can't
way.
believe you've just scandalized me. Ingrid.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
I mean, I think
sensibilities are.
I
don't know if you have a weak constitution,
You're worried.
You might
You're. What is this? You're worried you're gonna make me like thirsty for David Harbour? Like what? Just by you just saying it?
No,
I don't understand.
clearly not.
We had a whole. I need you to explain to me because we had like half an episode where we were just talking about who like dudes we thought were hot.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Oh yeah. Now whose
David
memory is
Harbour's
bad?
on that list. What raised bad?
Now whose memory is bad?
Anyway.
David Harbour's on your list. He's not on my list.
Okay. I heard he was hard to work with though. Specifically only on like Hellboy. That's when all that came out. But I think he's like, oh my goodness. The previous season. Mwah.
You like the bumbling dad bod? He's basically Homer Simpson in season 3.
Okay, well he doesn't look like Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson with like a mustache and some stubble.
No,
He's a melding of Homer Simpson and Ned Flanders, and like
I don't think so.
and-
not personality wise.
I'm talking looks.
Oh well, looks okay.
You're like oh come on, you're a woman of culture. You like him for his personality. That's what makes him so hot.
Well, no, it's also for his physical features. Apparently, he's very tall,
Yeah.
which not exactly something I'm into, but push came to shove.
Adam Driver is also very tall.
That is true.
Um.
It would be much better if he was 5'5", but he can't control that he's all, stretched out. So.
I want you to edit Marriage Story and make Adam Driver 5'5".
Wait, how tall is Scarlett Johansson? She's probably like what, 5'6". She seems moderately
she's
tall
short. 5'6" is tall.
for a woman. I said moderately tall as well.
No,
So
that's average woman height. I'm pretty sure.
no,
What?
average woman height is like 5'3", 5'4".
Uh,
In the United States. I should point that out. Let's see. She is 5'3". How did you know that? Oh my god.
I didn't say what.
You said she was like 5'3", and she was.
I think you said that was
No,
the
I said
average
she-
height.
Oh.
Let's see. Man, why can't Google just give me like an easy straight answer?
What the
Oh
average-
wow, you're right. 5'3"
Yeah.
for the average height.
And the average for a man is, I believe, 5'7". Or 5'7" or 5'8".
Shame.
Anyways,
What is it? I didn't know Scarlett Johansson's height. You said the average was 5'3", and then Scarlett Johansson turned out to be 5'3". I just knew she was short. I didn't know she was that short. That's wild. Like, I don't know. For some reason, like, I feel like anyone I don't know, I guess specifically celebrities, I feel like I always imagine either being like slightly taller than me or like the same height as me. But then like imagine like meeting Scarlett Johansson, and then she's just like.
Well, I kind of assume everyone is taller than me, and usually they are. So,
Yeah.
Such is the life of someone who is 4'11" and a half. Don't forget the half. Yeah.
How's our battery? How's my batteries?
It is still on 2 bars, so perhaps calm down.
That's what she said for the previous batteries that died.
I didn't say for you to calm down because you weren't freaking out at the time, so technically you are wrong.
My tummy hurts.
Oh, your tummy hurts. Oh, maybe you should take another Pepto-Bismol.
I thought the non sequitur would. I thought just throwing that in there would catch you off guard, but clearly not. Clearly, you're just always ready to be mean.
Yes.
All right, there you go. She admits it. This is an intervention.
What, for me being mean?
Yeah.
Oh, you think I'm mean? Oh, I hurt your feelings. Oh, no. Oh, no. Sorry. But you did kind of open the door for that.
All right. Question 1.
I was going to ask you if you forgot about the questions.
I sort of did when at the beginning, but then I remembered like 20 minutes in, and then I don't know. We've just been going. I like talking about Stranger Things. I mean, we could keep talking about it maybe.
I have nothing else to say other than Hopper, hot.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish there's more to talk about season 3. I feel like
4.
Oh, exactly. I've already forgot it. Season 3 was just so good. I'm tired.
As am I. You probably didn't wake up at 5:45 this morning, so.
I mean, I feel like the time doesn't necessarily matter. It matters how much sleep you got. How much sleep did you get?
Well, I can answer this. I believe 7 hours and 1 minute, but
seems nearly adequate.
7 hours and 4 minutes. But you have to realize that last Saturday I slept for 10 hours. So, that I feel like is an adequate amount. But anything less than 10 hours, not enough, Which is not a falsehood, by the way. You can see I slept for 10 hours. I was really tired. Because the 5-hour one, that's when I saw the snake, right? Because I didn't get to bed until 11:55. But after that, all the sleep that I wanted. Anyway, question.
We'll start with Melissa, and then what is it? It's kind of like it's an icebreaker. I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but it's okay. It's whatever. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this head dance?
Trying to see how long it would be before you said anything, but now you have, so go on.
Did you time it?
No.
It was a failed experiment. You didn't write down your results, Aaron. Come on. I thought you were a scientist.
I never claimed to be such a thing.
Clearly. At this very moment, what is your most used emoji? I kind of want to do back to back because I honestly I don't like this one.
Okay. I don't know if does it tell you your most used specifically? Because for me, it just tells me my most recent one.
Me, it tells me my like most recent, but then I don't know if it's my most recent or if it's like I don't know how it works. I think the ones I use the most are at the top of my. Mine are frequently used, so it's not most recent. But mine, I'll text you mine. Mine is this. I was hoping you would get it instantly.
I did get it. It is the eyes emoji.
Well, see, I recreated it in real life.
Oh, well.
I was like, look at me. I was like.
Well, here is my most recent. I texted it to you. It is eyebrow raising. For
our blind listeners, my emoji was the wide eyes glancing to the left or the right if you are going by the emoji's perspective.
Also, there's different directions on different emoji fonts. So for me, it's to the left. Is it to the left for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And then on Twitter, I'm pretty sure it's also to the left.
But
Because
anyway.
Twitter has its own like set of emojis.
So mine's the wide eyes. Oh, well, wait. Okay, so clearly we've established. I thought of something else for Stranger Things.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of like maybe you can bleep the name or whatever, but did you know that our good pal auditioned for Stranger Things season 4
I can
and
believe that.
and nearly got one of the roles.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we know which one?
Yes.
Can you say it?
I can. But that's why you bleep his name because
Okay.
I don't know if he would want this information like shared.
Mm-hmm.
But
Is it Eddie? Could you
no,
imagine?
no. Do you want to
Okay.
guess or do you want me to just tell you?
Oh gosh. Okay. So is this like he's Letterman jacket? No, it's okay. One of the kids in a Hellfire Club. I don't know. What would you typecast our pal as? I don't know.
When I tell you, you're gonna be like, oh.
Okay. Well, I want to figure it out. Okay. No, I have no idea.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I already forgot the season. What even happened in episode 1? All I remember is episode 9 and only half of it.
One of the children in the lab. I'm asking.
Didn't sound like an ask, but no.
Okay.
I
don't know.
He nearly got the role of Fred.
Who's Fred? Are you lying?
He was Vecna's second victim.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I could see that for him.
Yeah. But like what shocked me about this.
Could you imagine we just start up the latest season of Stranger Things and just see him there? Like no announcement or nothing. It's like, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think we would have known.
Really?
Yeah. Because I knew because like they've been working on this season for a long time. I think I knew.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Back in like when I was still in college, so like a year. I don't even know how long that is. A year to nearly 2 years ago, that he auditioned for it and nearly got the role. Nearly got a role. But what is it? I think the thing that shocked me the most is because like me and Melissa were talking about the season and I was like, oh, what role do you think had? And I couldn't think of anything either. And then Melissa was like, oh, the little nerdy reporter. And I was like, yo. But then where I thought you were gonna go with this with Could You Imagine? My thing is, could you imagine we're just watching Stranger Things and we're like, oh, there's our buddy, we know him, and then we watch him gruesomely get murdered, his bones shatter, his eyes cave in, and then he's just a wall decoration for the rest of the season. It's just like, oh, that's our boy. Like, oh man, that would have been something.
Wow.
But I texted him that because I wanted to confirm, and yeah, he said it was that was Melissa's guess, and then I texted him and he confirmed it.
Wow.
What else? He never responded to that though, because he hasn't watched the show. I don't think he's watched any of it.
Like at all?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, oh yeah, I was just wondering because that character gets like gruesomely murdered, and then I described it to him and he didn't respond. You gotta chill.
Yeah.
The gruesome murder. But anyway, I feel like that would have been some type of rad, you know?
Yeah.
Would have been horrible. Like I don't know. Because like those deaths are already hard to watch, but then like if it's someone you know,
yeah.
Anyway. That was something that popped into my head, and then we can bleep his name because I don't know if he wants that, but you know, if you know, you know. You know.
If you don't, you don't. And that's it.
Question 2. Man, my tummy really hurts. It really does.
I'm refraining from being mean, apparently.
Yeah, good. So sadly, this question is a double kill. In that it is burning both one of David's and one of Melissa's questions, because they wrote basically the same question.
Didn't we do that last week?
No, I complained about it last week, or like talked about it last week.
Okay.
Because I was just upset because I was like, "Oh, that's it's a waste," sort of.
Mm-hmm.
I'll combine them sort of because they're roughly the same, but I'll read them separately and then combine them sort of. David's question is, what are your irrational fears, aka phobias? And then Melissa's contribution, or Melissa's question / contribution, which I guess it depends whose came first, but I don't know. What is your biggest irrational fear, and is it actually irrational? So I will say, I mean, they're slightly different, but we're combining them because they're too similar. I want to go first and say, I feel like one of my or a fear that I've always felt was kind of irrational is I always hated being in like a bus or a tall van. You want to know why?
Why?
Because like I was only in like a bus or a tall van, typically either like on the way to school or like a school field trip or like a road trip or something for school, whatever. And I feel like when a vehicle is like taller than it is wide, I hate whenever it's turning because I always feel like it is going to tip over. And so I wasn't like, I guess irrationally, I wasn't like having a panic attack on these buses or on these vans, but like whenever they were taking a turn kind of hard or taking a turn a little fast, I was definitely scared. I was like, this car is leaning. I don't like it. We're gonna tip over and we're gonna die, you know. So I was always scared of that happening. Do you have any?
Yes, I do. I have one. One's a little silly, even though it did still affect me.
Let's go back and forth. Let's like one at a time.
Well, I've always, I don't know if fear is the right word because I don't become fearful. I just become deeply uncomfortable. But roaches, like I've never liked roaches. Like not to like just seeing them, but like even when they're dead and like on their back, it's like my skin is crawling. Like when I was younger and anytime we had like a roach in the house and I had to like sweep it up, or really honestly any like bug that was like kind of larger than normal, like larger than like an ant. Well, I mean, that's not a very high bar, but you know, a big bug. I would sometimes I would like start crying because I didn't want to go near it because I just didn't want to go near it. It's just like, so I don't know. I just do not like them. Which is why I have no idea how I'm going to cope when I inevitably get a roach in my apartment. I didn't really get them in my old one because I feel like I had the advantage of being on the 5th floor. So therefore, if there were any, it would have to travel kind of far, but
you have to go up all those stairs.
Yeah, but now
or take the elevator.
Don't want to take the elevator though, so probably would have gone up the stairs. But now that I'm like on the ground floor and clearly we can see things have a way of getting in my apartment, I'm gonna see one day and I just don't know what I'm gonna do.
I think I know exactly what you're gonna do, and it is your dad's gonna get a notification that you called 911.
But yeah, that's been mine for some time now, and honestly, I don't know. I don't know where that came from. I mean, I guess it is natural to dislike some insects, but I can remember not every summer, but most summers when I was like in elementary school, I would go to this other elementary school that was not my school to do this like summer program. And for some reason, this school always had roaches in it in the hallways, just like dead. And I always kind of disliked going because I knew I would always see roaches and I don't want to see roaches. So, and then in the film office, there were always roaches. So I hated that too.
I think it got even worse in the film offices after you graduated. Like
really?
it became like an absurd amount.
Oh my God.
Where there was like 5 in every room. It was absurd.
Wow.
I think, I guess, you know, take his word with a grain of salt, but I think chalked it up to like maintenance not wanting to clean them up. But when I was still doing work study there, I went and kind of like let security know about it, and then immediately the next day, like all of them are gone. Now more,
they're right there.
More showed
that's security,
up.
but not maintenance.
Yeah, more showed up, but hey, at least someone cleaned them. But what is it? Did you? I guess have we ever? I don't think we've ever talked about this, but did you know I feel pretty much the exact same way about roaches?
No, I did not know that.
Wow. I will kill one if I have to, but I really, for the most part, can't. Like if I'm by myself and it's like there was one time, I don't know if it was here. I think it was at the little we'll say the Airbnb I stayed at for like 2 months.
The old folks' home.
I think I saw her today, but I wasn't sure. I think she had like some coffee with someone at Bellhaven. What is that? I think I saw one there, and I like literally called up Melissa. I was like, Melissa, come over. There's a roach. And she came. She saved the day. But what is it? No, yeah, I really can't stand them, dead or alive. It wasn't always like that. I think I always like was pretty grossed out by them, like or whatever, but I could still kill one. But then something changed in the summer of 2020, where now I can pretty much no longer kill them, and I can't even stand looking at them. Like I just have to leave the room. But
gosh, I'm getting uncomfortable talking about it.
Have you ever seen the movie Creepshow?
No.
How would you feel about watching a snippet from not on the podcast, but how would you feel about watching a snippet of a movie that features a roach or two?
Like a real one or like a CG one?
Real.
No.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
Can't do it.
What if it was CG?
If it was and it was obviously CG, then I probably would be able to handle it. But as long as there's no like close-ups or anything, I might be okay. Because do you remember that one episode of SpongeBob with the worm?
The Alaskan bullworm?
No, with the
wormy.
Yeah, when it turns into a butterfly. Yeah.
He's
that scarred me as a child. Oh my God.
That's
I used
funny.
to hate when that episode would come on. I hated it so much. Yeah. I think the answer is still no, though.
Well, I mean, you made me watch Midsummer. Well, you didn't make me, but I feel like
some interest.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I want to make you watch the roach scene from Creepshow.
But neither of us like that. So why would you subject the both of us to that?
Because I at this point, well, ever since I watched it, I was pretty much like very traumatized because that was what changed in summer of 2020. I watched that movie and I watched that scene.
Well, if that was enough for you, then I'm gonna freaking get PTSD. I don't want to see that.
Well, literally, I went from like kind of being mildly grossed out by roaches to being like absolutely terrified of them.
So it's a mega no. No.
Well, okay, so
Not happening. You will not be able to budge me on this either.
I'm going to describe it. I'm going to describe it for you then.
I mean, go ahead, I guess.
Okay, so the scene in Creepshow, which you can like for those listening that haven't seen it, probably David and Patricia, because I've shown it to Melissa, because it was pretty traumatizing when I watched it. You can if you'd rather watch it than me describe it, just go to YouTube and type in like Creepshow cockroaches or whatever, and then watch the said 2 to 5 minute scene. Basically, Creepshow, if you don't know, it is a movie made, I think, in collaboration with Stephen King and I think George Romero. Let's see.
Stephen King.
Yeah, Stephen King. Is it George Romero? Yeah, George A. Romero. And it's like an anthology movie kind of based on some of the, I guess, the pulpy horror comics that they grew up on. And so I think it's like 4 or 5 short films in one film. And they're all
I wanted to do something like that.
They're all very a little gross, a little creepy, kind of for the most part cheesy. Like the special effects are very dated, but they're also like they're all very practical. And for some reason, like even though they're clearly not real, the fact that they're practical makes them so gross. And so the movie was kind of hard to watch for me, as cheesy as it was. But one of the short films, I don't remember what it was called, featured we'll say an Ebenezer Scrooge type. He's, I guess, a very wealthy man living in an apartment, and he treats, it's kind of like a futuristic apartment. He treats everyone like dirt. He treats the doorman like dirt. He treats his neighbors like dirt. I think he's like
dirt like dirt.
he's like a business mogul as well, and so he, I think like the opening scene is him like on the phone with one of his employees, and it's like, man, it's Christmas and my family's starving, and then he's just like, well, too bad, you should have worked harder, you're fired. Like it's really cheesy. And then what happens is that he also seems to be a bit of a germaphobe, so his whole apartment is very like sleek and futuristic. It's all white.
So it's Howie Mandel. Interesting.
I don't know. I haven't seen his apartment. I was thinking like 2001: A Space Odyssey, like that level of like sterile. Yeah, he really keeps his like apartment spotless. And what happens this fateful night is he starts seeing like a bug or two here and there, and he like kills them, and it's just like, where did that come from? And then as the short story goes on, it's like there's a storm. He calls maintenance. He's like, hey, you guys need to take care of it. I'm getting bugs. You need to take care of this. Treating him like dirt. And basically he starts seeing more and more bugs as the short continues. And eventually the storm knocks out the power. And when the power goes out, then it comes back on, the emergency power. And then the place is like filled to the brim with roaches. There's roaches in the lights. There's roaches in the sink. They're crawling out of the sink. They're all over the floor. They're all over him. And let me tell you, every single one of these roaches is real. And every single one of these roaches is just crawling over everything. And the dude's like freaking out. And to give you a perspective on how many roaches they used for this scene, so it was a cheap 80s movie. Like it was kind of like a B movie. And it was cheap. The roaches, they spent $0.25 per roach, and the roaches were the most expensive part of the budget. I think they spent like $40,000 or something on roaches. It might have been like $4,000. Let me look this up.
Gonna do the maths.
Let me see. 40,000 might be a bit much. Let's see. Okay, oh wait, 40,000. It might have actually been 40,000.
So 40,000 divided by 160,000 roaches.
I think that's that's how many they had. Let's see. I'm trying to find.
How do you even procure that many roaches?
They had a guy. They knew a guy. But basically, so he's freaking out. There's roaches everywhere. The scene is disgusting. Definitely probably couldn't have been made nowadays. Well, I don't know. Are roaches protected under like animal cruelty or anything on film?
That's a good question. Are insects protected? But also you would think it would be kind of like a health and safety issue to have that many roaches.
I'm looking to while you're looking that up, I'm looking to confirm if it was $40,000, because that sounds like a lot. I looked it up. The movie was made in 1982 and had a budget of $8 million. So in terms of like 8 million, 40,000 isn't a whole lot.
So most bugs are explicitly excluded from the Animal Welfare Act protection. Now I don't know. Let's see. So specifically, species covered by the Animal Welfare Act are dogs, cats, rabbits, guinea pigs, hamsters, gerbils, non-human primates, marine mammals, captive wildlife. Okay, and domestic livestock. Species used in non-agricultural research and teaching, whatever that means.
Wow. Okay, it was more than 40,000.
How much was it?
It says during Fan Expo Canada of 2015, George A. Romero had said that the cockroaches were the most expensive part of the movie, stating that the cockroaches cost 50 cents a piece.
Okay. And
they used more than 250,000 of them.
Wow.
A grand total of $125,000 on roaches alone. So my numbers were wrong. My memory had faded a little bit, but that's how many roaches were in this one scene of this movie. His whole apartment was flooded with them. And then here's the kicker. Here's what really cemented my fear and disgust of roaches.
We're on one bar.
Oh no. They're gonna get us. So he's freaking out. He locks himself in his room, where there's no roaches, presumably. Then he sees his like mattress wiggling, and then he lifts it up, and they're all under and in his mattress. And then he's like screaming, and then like it kind of takes like a supernatural twist where the maintenance guy calls back or whatever, and he's like, "Hey, is there a problem?" But he starts like laughing like sinisterly, like his maintenance guy is like the devil or something.
Or he planted the roaches.
Well, see, there's the thing. He's laughing sinister. He's like, "If there's a problem, sir, you should like let us know, and we'll deal with it right away." Like, like really, like I'm not gonna do it, but like really sinister laughing.
Like a
Yes, like the devil, like he's possessed by the devil or something, like a cartoonish devil. Then all of a sudden, jump cut to day. The apartment's clear. The roaches are gone. The Ebenezer Scrooge type is asleep on his bed. And I think the maintenance guy calls again. He's like, yeah, sorry about last night or whatever. Oh, wait, I think this is actually when the maniacal laughing comes in. He's like, yeah, sorry about last night. Are you, I hope that the problem fixed itself. Are you still there? And you see the guy just laying there. Then you see kind of the guy and you see him wiggling. And then clearly it's not a real guy. It's clearly rubber. And then they start like crawling out of him. And then like you've seen The Thing. Think of like those special effects. But basically his like, I think neck and like stomach like burst open. And then there's just roaches crawling out of him. And that's when the maniacal laughing comes into play. Wow. But so that movie, that one scene single-handedly gave me a very irrational fear of cockroaches.
Wow.
It was terrible.
Hate it.
Yeah. So you want to watch the scene?
No.
I was hoping the describing it would be just as bad.
Well, I think specifically for me, however, it's like dead roaches. I don't like alive ones, but specifically, when they're like dead and upside down, it just,
Well, most of these are alive.
I know, but also, are these like our cockroaches, or are these like some exotic cockroaches?
All shapes and sizes. Some are gigantic and some are little itty bitty.
Interesting. So we got some variety.
And the reason I asked about the PETA thing or the animal cruelty thing is because he's straight up killing them, like in the scene where he's just stomping on them and they're gushing. But what is it? Let's see. Other fears. Do you have any others? So I said buses and tall vehicles. You said cockroaches.
I did have one.
I think it's my turn then. Well, no, I said cockroaches again. You can go again.
Okay, but in the interest of the battery, we may want to move on.
My TV's not going to work.
It'll be fine. Just, I don't know, get a treadmill, hook it up to some wires.
Sorry. What do we want to move on to?
Well, my story from work, we can do that because I feel like I can go on for a while.
I feel like we get, but you said it in the interest of time.
Well, did I say time? I meant battery.
Yeah, sorry. In the interest of battery. I don't know. We're going to use it up either way.
I mean, I guess.
You're like, in the interest of my story, really. Well,
I think it's interesting because I want to get your perspective on it as well.
I'm curious as well. The problem is the battery. Okay. Let's try to wrap up real quick because I guess it's clearly the question. Your story is clearly important to you, but we got to respect the question. Okay. What are your irrational fears, aka phobias? We got buses and cockroaches. Do you have another one real quick that you want to say or no?
Yes, but it's kind of complicated.
Nah. Okay.
So no.
It's like Gordon Ramsay.
No.
I have nightmares every night of him calling me an idiot sandwich. Then what is it? Okay, so then Melissa's specific thing is, what is your biggest irrational fear, and is it actually rational? Phobias. Oh, well, okay, sorry. To react to David's phobias part of the question, I definitely have trypophobia, the fear of like holes or bumps. Yeah, that really gets to me. And the thing that gave it to me was similar to Creepshow with cockroaches, is Animal Planet back when like
They were popping.
I guess, but I was gonna say specifically, my family had like cable TV, and I had nothing better to do as a kid. You know, streaming wasn't a thing, and so watching Animal Planet, there was like a special on like exotic animals, which is great and all. Problem was, is they showed this terrible, disgusting frog. That,
the one with the babies in its back.
Yeah.
Bro, I hated that too.
Yeah,
oh my
disgusted
God.
me. And I think...
Oh, dude. Oh.
Yeah.
No.
I think since then that gave me trypophobia.
Yeah, that one was definitely bad too. But I didn't have any long lasting effects. But that one was... I remember watching that too, man. Yeah. Also, Animal Planet did used to be popping. I don't know what happened.
Ugh, I got a shiver. That was genuine. I think... Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Now I'm remembering it. And I can't.
I'll look it up again. I'll look up a video.
No. Then both of us are going to be on the floor.
Yeah. Literally shaking and crying.
Shaking and crying and throwing up.
But, all right. So that's that. I don't know what my biggest irrational fear is. Maybe cockroaches. And I would say it is irrational. But man... Like, now, I find it odd that you're, like, specifically dead cockroaches. Dead cockroaches upset you more than alive ones?
Well, alive ones do upset me a lot, but I think...
Alive ones can fly. I can pull a live one out of my pocket and it can crawl on you.
I mean, I guess, but
a dead one's not moving.
No, but it's just, like, being confronted with it. Like I said, sometimes we would have roaches in the house and I would have to clean them up, but I didn't want to get near them and I would, like, start crying. Like, there's something there, so...
Why did you have to clean them up? Why were your parents making you clean them up?
Well, I was usually the one who's, like, sweeping in the house. So, usually I would encounter all the bugs that are on the floor. So...
Interesting. Well... Yeah, for me, I hate both of them. If I see a dead cockroach, I'm unhappy, but a live one is much more menacing. An alive one can fly, and an alive one can move, you know?
So I think the fact that they are dead, that part is irrational, but roaches, period, I think that's irrational. They are vectors of disease, maybe.
That's not why I'm scared of them. They're just gross looking.
That too.
Men in Black also might have contributed to that.
The little roach fellas? I didn't mind them.
No, those are worms or something, aren't they?
No. Wait. Aren't the in the locker?
I was thinking of the villain of the first one, who's straight up a giant roach.
Oh.
Played by Vincent D'Onofrio. He's a giant roach possessing, like, he's wearing human skin. It's very gross. Very gruesome.
Maybe they are worms.
Yeah. I mean, they sure as heck don't look like worms, but...
Yeah. Because they have, like, arms.
Yeah, and spines.
No, they have, like, legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're weird. But do you remember when Michael Jackson was, like, in the second one?
Yeah.
I felt like that was a fever dream.
Lady Gaga's in the third one.
For real?
Yeah. Well, Michael Jackson...
Is she Agent L?
Yeah. No, wait, no. She's not an agent. They always put celebrity cameos as, like... the suspected aliens, and Michael Jackson was one of the suspected aliens. Like, look at him. I thought
he was like trying to be an agent, because remember, he's like on the screen, he's like, I can be Agent M.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so maybe I think Michael Jackson had more of a cameo. I think in Men in Black 3, Lady Gaga and like Justin Bieber, like they were popping off whenever Men in Black 3 came out. So it's like they were like, I think it was just like press footage of them. And it was just like, yo, these are people we suspect are actually aliens.
Oh, so they're not like in it. This is like archival footage.
Yeah, but I mean, they had to give permission.
Depends on who it belongs to, who the footage
Someone had to give permission.
Yeah. But no, Michael Jackson was like, he had a legit cameo.
I think you're right.
Oh, how could I forget this? For irrational fears. Oh my God. Okay, so from like age of, I want to say like 4 to maybe 8 years old, maybe 9, because it was up until he died. But I used to be afraid of Michael Jackson. Because like, okay, not for like the reasons, but I don't know. He just looked so weird to me growing up and like unnatural. There was something about it where I was just afraid of Michael Jackson when I was a child. So that one was definitely irrational. I have since gotten over it, but that, yeah. But specifically, white era Michael Jackson, not, Jackson 5 or the Jacksons or...
You're scared of little 5-year-old Michael Jackson?
No, because he looked normal back then. But like in the 2000s, he was like not a person anymore in the face. So that really threw me off. It was hitting in the uncanny valley for me, even as a child. So, and that one was definitely irrational. Well, maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, can't believe I forgot about that one. I guess because I'm not afraid of him anymore. Because, you know, he's dead. He can't hurt me. As far as I know.
You're gonna be visited by Michael Jackson tonight. The spirit of Michael Jackson. You're gonna start hearing Thriller in your head, and you're gonna be like,
oh my god, the music video for Thriller, that one terrified me as a child as well. Oh man.
I think you've awakened another of my irrational fears. Specific, like, this kind of still applies today. But it's kind of like a little bit less. But as a kid, I really couldn't stand like this. I'll be more specific in a second, but like scary looking faces, like specifically eyes that were like really tiny, and then like smiles that were like really wide. So
like Jeff the Killer.
Sort of, yeah. But even to benign amounts, like I know you've
the movie Ted.
Well, I was gonna say you've expressed that you're quite fond of the movie Hoodwinked.
Yeah.
Specifically, the rabbit in that movie.
Really?
Not the whole time, but there's one moment where he's doing his like villain monologue.
Yeah.
And then he starts like laughing maniacally.
Yeah.
And he gets these little beady eyes, and they freaked me out as a kid. I'm pretty sure I had nightmares.
Wow. Yeah, I think you told me about that. The rabbit from Hoodwink.
Yeah, I think I tried to pull up. I might have even pulled up the scene for you and showed that to you.
Well, I remember it.
But like, see, normal rabbit. Like, I mean, he looks a little dated and a little creepy just by the age of the animation. But like, specifically when he gets that big wide smile and these like these little this isn't quite the scene, but these little beady eyes.
Yeah.
That really freaks me out. And so like.
That's why we can't watch Hoodwink together, man.
We can't watch. I don't know. We can't watch Hoodwink because I'm not feeling it, and like, man, it looks so dated. I don't think it'll hold up.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
I know the truth though.
Oh yeah, you're gonna watch Hoodwinked and you're gonna be like 10 out of 10. Better than Dune.
Maybe better be looking out for my letterboxd. Man.
This is pretty close though. Those beady eyes. I keep showing you the beady eyes, but like,
I remember what you're talking about, Joseph. I remember the movie, and I remember it fondly. So I have not repressed those memories.
Yeah, and there was a lot of other things that had like small creepy eyes and like creepy faces. Specifically, there was a animated film, Batman versus Dracula. The vampires in that were quite scary. It was animated. It was on Cartoon Network.
I know, but it's a strange matchup.
Yeah. Dracula is played by Peter Stormare.
Don't know who that is.
Well, clearly you're not.
Dracula head.
Nah. I mean, Peter Stormare is cool, but what else? When we saw The Black Phone, that trailer for the movie Smile, that I don't like those creepy faces. You already forgot that trailer?
Yes.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Oh, that trailer was low key funny. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of goofy.
Yeah,
it made me laugh.
I can acknowledge that. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I really can't stand like uncanny faces, even if they're a little campy or goofy.
Especially like at the end when her head like swings around.
Yeah, that freaked me out a little bit.
That made me laugh.
I really couldn't even watch the trailer for 2018's Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare.
Yeah, it was a bad like Blumhouse movie, but they also
no, that's Would You Rather. Okay, no, never mind.
Yeah, I think Melissa confused it as well. I'm trying to find it. See, this looks like a bad filter, but it still like creeps me out. Like it really unsettles me. Like it looks so goofy and dumb, but like it really
Sorry.
It really gets under my skin. I'm serious.
Okay.
Like, so something about like creepy, uncanny faces, specifically tiny eyes. When the eyes get tiny, oh my God. Like I know this looks goofy, but like I really don't like it. Bleh. Anyway.
Well, Joseph, there's no need to further traumatize yourself.
Yeah. Well, I am kind of curious, but at the same time, yeah, you know, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. I'm gonna have trouble sleeping, and it will be your fault.
What?
Um,
Okay. You tell yourself that.
Yeah.
But I know the truth.
They look so dumb, but they look so creepy. I hate it.
Honestly, it's just funny to me. It's a little goofy.
Well, the plot of the movie, like, you either have to... This one does look kind of goofy. The plot of the movie is it's like the truth or dare is like a curse. And if you... I don't like this one. If you...
Wait.
If you... What is it? If you do the dare, then you pass on the curse. But if you don't do the dare, then, like, the demon makes you kill yourself. And you, like, smile before you kill yourself. Very creepy, very unsettling.
So I'm assuming you hate this too.
The Radio Rebel face.
Yeah.
No, because that's not creepy.
Okay. And this, dear listeners, is where the recorder died for the second time. Will they get new batteries and live to record a podcast for another day? Well, you'll have to find out next time on the Not Just Aaron podcast, which you can listen to on all major podcast platforms. That is Google, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Anchor. We are on social media at Not Just Aaron Pod. That is Instagram and Twitter. To discuss all things Not Just Aaron, you can use the hashtag NJAPod. I am checking. I'm not seeing a whole lot. That's fine. Also, since we're doing this whole Q&A thing, you can submit questions to us through whatever channel seems appropriate to you. And, well, the mystery of the dying recorder will continue next week.